First up, start with the breaking news coming in from Karnataka. Now, this, remember, comes after an admission which was made by two senior Congress leaders, including Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar, on how there has been a delay in crediting amounts pertaining to two poll guarantees or guarantee schemes in Karnataka. And amid this controversy, now we have a reaction coming in from KJ George, the Power Minister of the state. He says guarantees are not monthly salaries. So he shockingly dismissed the concerns around stall payments to beneficiaries. First up, let's listen in.
ಅವರು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿಗಳು ಈಗ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ತಟ್ಟುಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 2,60,000 ಜನ ಗ್ರಾಹಕರಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಿಂಗಳು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಡಿಲೇ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅದು ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಂದಿದೆಯಾ? ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಕ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಸತಿ ಇದೇನು ತಿಂಗಳು ಸಂಬಳ ಟೈಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ನಾವು ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಡದೇ ಇರೋದಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು 10 ದಿವಸ 15 ದಿವಸ ಡಿಲೇ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಾರಣ ಇರ್ಬೋದು.
I want to go across to Sudat Bhardwaj joining us with more details. Sudat, very interesting. You know, while we do see some of the senior Congress leaders make an admission of how these poll guarantees have not been credited, the amount hasn't been credited when it comes to two key schemes in Karnataka, and they've spoken of a long-term vision as well on how they're wanting to implement it very much. But here comes Mr. KJ George's reaction, wherein he's saying that this is not a monthly salary and so should not irk the beneficiaries. What do you make of this comment?
This is definitely, shocking statement really coming in from a minister under whom, in fact, the Gruha Jyoti scheme, one of the 5 flagship schemes that the Congress has promised to the people of the state, he's in charge of that as well. And it's really a shocking statement that comes while, you can see that Deputy CM D.K. Shivkumar has, assured Food and Civil Supplies Minister K.H. Munyappa, both have assured, they have admitted the delays have happened, but they have both assured that the government will stick by it and promise at all costs. Given that the government realizes the importance of the guarantees, how it has brought them to a thumping majority in the state, won the confidence of the people, that is what they believe. They have always banked on the guarantees. They have rid the guarantees way for long, trying to allay any criticism that comes their way. But at such a time, you see a minister making a rather careless remarks, if one could say, given that these are not monthly salaries. Because remember, the Congress government said that from the very first cabinet meeting that takes place after the election, once they come into power, they said that they would bring all these guarantees into place and that everyone would have these monthly benefits to help them in any manner possible, and all the needy people would be beneficiaries every month in this regard. There is even a guarantees panel that has been set up. More than 52,000 crores was allocated in the last state budget for the Congress guarantees. But our minister says that delays are common. He has dismissed any concerns about the delays or stalled payments that have taken place with regards to the guarantees, and said that the government will address it, but there are delays that ministers perhaps could not always know, and these are not necessarily monthly payments or monthly salaries. So this clearly shows perhaps the kind of attitude some of the ministers might have had. This clearly does not reflect well on the part of the government. A minister who is also in charge of one of the guarantees that are actually being doled out by the Congress government, making such remarks is definitely something shocking and does not reflect well, especially when the Congress is banking on the guarantees on most occasions, saying that they have promised the largest possible scale of beneficiary programs in the world. This is what they have claimed for long, but you see a minister making such statements now.
Okay. Also, what's really the reality on ground, Sudat? On one hand, you have the Deputy Chief Minister make an admission along with Mr. Munyappa. You also had the Chief Minister who's clarified that there's no question of stopping the guarantees. But the BJP has been saying that this is reflective of the financial condition of the state. Not just that, they've also said that these payments have been due for the last 5 months. Is that the timeline that we're essentially looking at?
Well, yes, Deputy CM D.K. Shivkumar has said that 3 months worth of payments have been stalled. with regards to the Gruhalakshmi, Civil and Food Supplies Minister K.H. Muniappa has said that payments have not been stalled for more than 2 months with regards to the Anna Bhagya scheme. But we still do hear some discrepancies. Some people, in fact, CNN News 18 spoke to one of the beneficiaries. She says that she has been paying high bills with regards to the Gruhajyoti scheme for 2 months now, despite getting a zero bill for several months. For the past 2 months, she's been paying over 1,000 rupees in electricity bills, and she has said that the Anna Bhagya scheme has been stalled for months. So you still hear people complaining about the irregularities that are present in the scheme, saying that several months on end they are having payments clubbed together. Payments for 2 months or 3 months have been clubbed together and handed over at one point, is what some of the beneficiaries complain. So yes, there are definite irregularities. The government too has admitted to it, and in fact, Civil and Food Supplies Minister K.H. Muniappa admitted that supplies or the payments with regards to the Anna Bhagya scheme were being clubbed for 2 months on end and then being handed out, but that from in the future onwards, henceforth, they would ensure that timely payments are made every month and that payments are not clubbed together and handed out at the same time. So there are several irregularities that are being seen. How the government will solve this is something that remains to be seen, given that there is a panel in place for supervising all this at the constituency and district level. Several thousand crores, more than 52,000 crores has been allocated in the last state budget. How much will they allocate this time around? What will they do to implement this more efficiently is something that has to be questioned, because the BJP too is questioning if so much money is behind this, how exactly is it being used, where is the money going, what is the question of the implementation. 2 years into the Congress guarantees that we are seeing, 2 years into the Karnataka government being in power, are they losing steam? That is the question, because they banked on this before the Karnataka elections in 2023 and before the Lok Sabha elections as well, that the guarantees were for the people. How long will they continue with this? There were murmurs of revisions. Will
and
that
some of
happen?
these questions, Sudat, have been raised by the Bharatiya Janata Party. So let's take in a BJP perspective.